Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taste the Dragons, the Toddcast. We are a video game podcast coming to you live from our studio.
Ooh, fancy. Our studio.
Yeah, it's not a studio. It's just upstairs at Tate's. Ooh, Tate's. My name is Brian.
I'm Lewis.
My name is Troy.
All right.
I'm Zach.
I'm Katelyn.
Man, that was okay. This week we're going to be talking to you guys about, we'll start off the episode with what we've been playing. We'll go and segue into some news. Probably won't be that great of a segue. And then we'll go into a topic today. I think the topic today we're going to be talking about is hard bosses.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Tough bosses.
Tough bosses.
Hard balls.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so ready. I'm
Rock-
excited.
Rock hard
Rock
bosses.
hard. The hardest. Just like.
All right. Well, let's start this week by what we've been playing. Katelyn, you want to head us off?
Okay, let's see. What have I been playing? I've been playing Persona 5.
Ooh.
Yep, still working on that. I haven't even gotten to the second palace yet. This game is so long, and I love every second of it.
All right. How many hours are you in right now?
I am 15.
Okay. So you're about 10% of the way through.
Yeah. It's like
What
nothing.
are the hairstyles like of the characters in that game? Do we have some swoops? Do we have some spikes?
We have oversized pigtails.
Ooh.
Yes. We
This
have
is the very podcast.
Yeah, it is, right?
we have like pop punk emo shagginess,
All right.
Okay.
and then bleach blonde spikes.
It would be weird if there weren't that.
Yeah.
If that wasn't involved in some way, I would be concerned.
Yeah.
Agreed.
As you should be. Oh, and then we have the I call it the Nancy from the Craft
Okay.
hairstyle, because she
What is
actually
that?
she even has the choker and everything.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, Nancy from The Craft, like the
Like
movie.
the movie The
Yeah.
Craft.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a weird like Jenny from the Block.
Okay.
Yo, this is Nancy from The Craft.
You know,
Like,
brew.
Are you talking about
That's the character's
doctor?
name.
Yes.
Nancy
Okay.
from the
The
Craft.
doctor's
I was trying to figure out who the hell are you talking about.
the doctor is totally the one I'm going to be going after.
Was my romance when I played.
She's totally the one I'm going after.
I forgot you can romance in those games.
You can
Yeah.
romance teachers in that game.
Oh,
Oh,
hello.
A teacher, yeah.
A teacher.
Oh,
That
man,
would, I
that's-
toyed with that.
That's still a game I need to try to play. I've never even.
That's hitting too close to home for a lot of people.
Is it wrong that I'm more into that if you can romance teachers versus a teacher? Because that just tells me that like in this universe, it's still not okay.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, the first palace, which this is the first palace. This is not that spoilerific, I feel. The first palace, the main person like whose palace it is, which is like essentially the bad guy of that palace, is also a teacher, and sexual harassment is involved.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
He's the volleyball
All right.
coach.
Yeah.
Tackling some issues.
All
Yeah.
right, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
So
Nice.
yeah, mostly that, and then I'm still working on Detective Pikachu in my downtime.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will go next then. Zach and I have both been playing Sekiro, so I'll leave that for when Zach goes. But right now, I've also been playing the Division 2 still. I finally reached level 30. I'm on World Tier 2, I think, right now.
Okay.
There's four different world tiers as of right now. I think
They're
August
adding 5.
5th they're adding the World Tier 5. So right now it's World Tier 2. You have to like, in order to level up your tier, you have to like do a whole bunch of missions in order to get up your gear level past a certain like aspect. So I think right now it has to be 325 or whatever.
Okay.
So once you get to 325, you can attempt a stronghold. Once you beat that stronghold, the world rank goes up again. So it goes on to 3, and then you got some other missions that you can do again.
So the world progressively gets harder.
Correct. Yes.
Interesting.
Because basically, once you reach level 30, and you beat the final mission, once you hit world rank 1 or world tier 1, it's Black Tusk, which is a mercenary group, invades Washington D.C.
That's such a good name for a mercenary
Right?
group.
Black
It's pretty
Tusk,
great.
Oh, that's-
right? Yeah. that's
And
nice.
they are hard. So basically what it is you're replaying pretty much your old missions, but with new enemies that are way more difficult. And they hit you with different stuff as well.
Does it feel different enough from when the first time you played
It
them?
most certainly does. It's actually not bad considering like I'm running through a hallway that I remember playing this way. But instead of all the enemies coming out of one direction, they are now hitting me from a completely different direction as well as another direction. So they like flank you. They have a lot more gadgets that they use because they actually essentially have the same gadgets you do, if not more.
Okay.
So they actually have like robotic attack dogs that are bigger than you.
So you are meeting your match and then some.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, Division.
Show.
I'm sad I didn't play that game, but I feel like I am through you all.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I am very much so like, man, I really wish this is what like Destiny 2 was to begin with, or you know,
Really?
or
Oh,
even
wow.
Anthem, because they just added so much end game content.
Right.
They learned.
They completed their game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out the gate.
Yeah.
What a novel concept.
Right?
I'm going to
Weird.
send this game out completed.
It's just so foreign.
Look out, world. Changing it up.
And then I also, we all downloaded the Elder Scrolls Blade.
Yes.
However, I'm the only one able to be in it right now.
Oh, I'm in it.
You, Brian.
Oh, I'm.
Man, that's a hard F word, man.
Yeah.
I felt
I'm
that in
writing
my
it down.
soul.
Well, here it is, because you both pre-ordered this.
Correct.
Right? So you guys have been waiting for a long time. I got a
Yes.
hot text in my pocket from you, Katelyn,
Yeah.
about like the Blade's dropping. You're like, this is dropping right now, hot off the press. And you still can't get into play.
Right? It's killing me.
But it also it's tied to your Bethesda account.
Yes.
So, but my Bethesda account I didn't enter in beforehand to pre-order it. I just pre-ordered it from Apple Store.
Right.
So I don't know what the correlation is between me being in but not Katelyn.
I
or
signed
not
up
you.
for a mailing list in my Bethesda account as well.
Oh, no.
And I still don't have it, and Brian does.
To be fair, I might have. I don't know. It's been a really long time since I signed up for it.
There's just male privilege once
Yeah,
again.
that's right.
coming out
Hashtag
there.
salty.
That's right. Bringing up the patriarchy.
One blade at a time.
that's right.
What is that game?
It's not very good. It's basically Infinity Blade, but they added on a bunch more stuff that it really did not need.
Okay.
And so, like, Infinity Blade was an older. I can't remember who released. I think it was.
Oh
Man, I can't
don't
remember.
the
I think it was like
developers.
Rare or something. It was actually a bigger studio who released it, and they released 3 of them. And so basically, it's like a first person. You swing your sword. You are walking out into the world and doing quests and stuff like that.
Like an action boss heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Fighting. Yeah.
But with this, it's like before you could just like swing your sword whenever you wanted to. This one you have to like press and hold, and then you swipe it, and then you got to wait, and then you have to like block, and there's no dodging mechanic, and then in order to walk, you actually have to like tap on your screen versus just going screen to screen. You have to actually physically like walk everywhere, and all the stuff that you can actually hit or interact with in the world is not great. Like even if you tap on it, a lot of times it doesn't register it.
So then what are the similarities with this game and like a kind of standard Elder Scrolls? Like are you doing the same stuff? Do you get quests? Do you
still
have
get quests?
guilds?
Yeah, you get quests. Like there's a job board where you grab more quests every single day, and then the quests respawn. I think like every 6 hours or something like that. Once you complete one, so. And then the way that they're going to get money out of you is that all the chests
is by putting it on mobile. I mean,
it's putting it on
how
mobile.
it is.
The chests you have to wait a certain amount of time to open. So like wooden chests are like 5 seconds, so it doesn't matter because there's nothing in there anyways. You're getting like, you got like some crafting materials.
Yeah.
But then like silver chests, which are I think it's the next step up, are 3 hours. I don't even want to know what gold chests would be,
What is the
or
longest?
like platinum or whatever.
Platinum's like your first child.
Yeah.
Must be sacrificed.
It's
to
like
Oasis.
that SpongeBob meme 4 hours later.
Yeah.
5 hours later.
Oh man, I can't imagine. But I'm gonna give it a shot because I did pre-order it and I have been looking forward to it. But I don't know. I'm not. It's not promising right now.
Is there a main story that you have to follow, like in every other Elder
I'm sure
Scrolls?
there is. There isn't
You
right
just-
now.
oh, there's-
You found the
Yeah,
Well, let's-
opening.
like you
The
also.
opening has a story.
on.
Yeah, you also like build up your town. So there is a town building mechanic to it
The
as
opening
well,
has a story,
because your hometown is completely destroyed when you
Okay.
first walk out. So you have to rebuild your town, and I think you have to like take down the evil queen or whatever that actually destroyed your village. So
Okay, that's
I think that's going to be
fair.
the overarching thing,
Right.
But I don't know right now. I'll tell you guys how it is because
Okay.
I'll be going to Japan for 2.5 weeks.
Get
so-
out of here.
Yeah.
So
Literally,
I
get out of here.
Yeah.
Go to
You
got-
Japan.
you got
Go
time.
pack.
So I will be probably playing that a bunch
Right.
while on trains and stuff like that.
Wait, does it have to be online though?
It has to be online, but if I'm on trains, they're their self service is awesome.
Oh,
And I have a mobile Wi-Fi, so I'll be on
Yeah,
that.
that Wi-Fi
you're ready.
hotspot.
This is not your first
This is,
tango.
this is my 7th tango.
Dang, you're a dancer.
Yeah, I'm a dancer. I'm a dancer.
Yes, you are.
Damn.
Well, I hope to get out of the loading screen to play that game
hope
at
so
some
too.
Same
point.
here.
I hope that it works for my phone.
Yeah,
At some
and
point.
then if you do get a chance to play it, rotate your screen because I was playing it lengthwise, so turn it
go
landscape.
go
yeah.
landscape.
Yeah, go landscape.
Okay.
I literally discovered that before we went on air.
I can't wait to wait a while to be mildly disappointed.
Yeah.
Can you add friends or anything? Can we play together?
I don't
Is that
know.
useful?
I don't see it right now, but I think there will be.
Okay.
Because there is a guild mechanic in it.
Okay.
We'll
Oh,
all
so
get
we're
on our-
making a Taste of Dragons guild.
We'll get on our Discords and we'll totally jump on while we play
have
together.
a Taste of Dragon Discord.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, I just learned that now too.
It's not like I posted it in chat the other day or anything.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah, I know.
I
Yeah,
read, but
Brian.
it's so fast.
I close that message and then I open it and it says 20 messages and I go, huh.
We do a lot of things. We do talk a lot. All right. So how about you, Lewis? What you been playing?
I wish I was playing more. I'm kind of just counting down till Days Gone, but I did try Bloodborne today.
Okay.
Because
The
you guys have
bloodiest.
been talking about Sekiro. You guys have been talking about that game a lot. And it sounds really interesting and it sounds fun. So then I tried Bloodborne. I'm like, oh, cool. I remember
You're
I
like,
tried
"Oh,
it.
I wouldn't mind hating myself today.
Well,
Play one of these
because like
games."
I tried the game months ago when they released it for free on PSN, and I hated it. I died so much it was dumb, and I went, well, this isn't even hard. This is just annoying. I'm done with this.
That sounds about right.
So
And then I
what was-
deleted the game. And I went, bye-bye. But then these guys were talking about this game. I'm like, oh, I'm going to play this game again. Let me try it again. It's been months, so I don't even remember any of the mechanics
Okay.
whatsoever. So it was as if I was playing for the first time. It definitely felt that way. But this time, it wasn't hard. I didn't die once. It was actually easy in a fun way.
Okay.
What was the difference from the first time and you were getting beat up to now with you being like a god?
I genuinely don't know what the difference was.
Maybe it's a mindset because like before you didn't really know what you were getting yourself into, but then like hearing us talk about like From Software games, maybe. I don't know.
No, that's very possible.
Yeah.
I couldn't pretend to know.
I also it sounds like those games, since they are so difficult and it's action and it's combat, that you kind of get better just with time.
Yeah, it's like
Even if
muscle
you're not,
memory. Yeah.
Maybe.
Even if you're not playing with it, you actually get like real life experience.
Yeah.
But I find a big hurdle with them is that the game it forces you to respect it, and if you don't, then you end up doing what he did the first time and saying, "Oh, this game's dumb," and deleting it. But if you go back to it and you realize, I think that might be part of it. You're like, "Oh, this game kicked my ass last time," so it probably changed the way you approached it.
Maybe. It's very possible because when I was playing, I was fighting against. I do think it's funny how like these small little, essentially like pawn characters hit you once and you're almost dead already.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Yep.
sure. And then I'm like, okay, so never hitting me again. But then I made a mistake because again, I did not know any of the buttons. I pressed a button and I took half of my own life.
Oh yeah.
And I went, why button? Why? And I went, never pressing that button again. And I liked it. But then I got to a point and I thought I was doing something logical. And then the game said, no, that's not logical. You're wrong.
What happened?
So I explored for a while. I killed everything that I could see that I can kill. I killed like these 3 big, giant, like ogre-looking guys with like axes and hammers. I explored some of the sewers. I found new gear. I did all this, and then I went.
You did some work.
Yeah.
You cleared out a lot of
For
dudes.
sure. And then I went to this bridge area, and before I went onto the bridge, I saw it, and my first thought was, that's a boss fight.
There was like blood dripping from it. The clouds were ominous.
I'm like,
There's a sign that says boss fight here.
Because it was a bridge leading to like a bigger building. I'm like, that's a boss fight.
No, it's just like free health over here.
No, definite boss fight.
There's a coyote waiting on the ridge. Just come on.
Free stone massage this way.
Yeah,
Come on down.
definite boss fight. And then I went, I'm gonna go back to the lantern to go to the hunter's dream, because I remember, because in the beginning of the game you essentially have to die in order to get your first 2 weapons.
Okay. What does the lantern do?
It takes you to the hunter's dream, which is a place where you can upgrade your stat, your all your like abilities and stuff like that.
Okay.
And you can get like notes from all the messengers and whatever. So I went back and I went into the hunter's dream to upgrade my stats, because I'm like, I've been exploring a lot. I haven't upgraded any of my stats. I have a lot of these, essentially what I just call blood orbs, because that's what it seemed like to me.
Please, Lewis, we call them blorbs.
Oh,
okay?
of course,
In the
blorbs.
biz. Yes,
Blorbs.
Thank you.
You would know.
I
It's
had
the
a
canon
lot of them, so then I went to the hunter's dream. I upgraded everything. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm ready for this boss fight. And then I went back into the world, and then as I was going to that area, before I went there, I saw every single thing that I had killed alive again. Everything, all the big ogres with the axes and hammers, everything alive again. And a part of me is like, it'll be easier killing them all this time, but I don't care.
Another part of you was like,
Another part of me was like, I just did it.
You,
And I didn't die when I first did it, but I just, no game.
do you think they were reborn through blood?
Blorbs, not blood. Blorbs. Are you ready for that no-hit run now?
No.
So that seems like a really annoying gameplay mechanic.
To me,
Yeah, to
for
you,
me, it just it didn't make me want to do it again. It made
Okay.
me just go, I did it the first time and it was fun. It was genuinely fun and I enjoyed it. And I felt like a fucking damn it. I felt like a badass going through it all, and then this time going reset, I went, oh I guess I'm punished for not dying.
You've wasted your time.
Dope.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I have to go do this podcast anyway, so bye.
Oh, so you're coming hot off of this. We're
Yeah.
feeling the heat
Yeah.
right now. Man, I wondered what that was.
Again, very fun. I loved it, and it was rewarding in the sense that whenever I did kill those big ogre guys, I felt great. And I was talking at the screen, screaming at the screen, just telling everything to die. And you know what? Actually, I think that's the difference this time. Last time when I was playing, I was very quiet and silent, and this time I was very, very vocal about everything that was happening. Anytime I dodged, I'm like, nope, not gonna die, not gonna die. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? I just kept shouting things like that. And so I think this time that was the difference. I was more like just like involved, like viscerally.
Yeah, your entire body.
My entire
was in
body
it.
was in it, and
Mentally,
like my voice and
yeah.
everything.
Gotcha.
So it was loads of fun, and then the whole reset just kind of turned me off.
And
for
then it
a
wasn't.
little bit. Yeah, and then I was like, for me, it doesn't make
wasn't.
me want to do it again.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
what's
I get that.
the appeal for those that are into these games? When that happened to you, what made you go, yeah, this is great?
For me, it was this is a challenge, because the game is like, okay, you killed all these guys, now kill all them and the boss.
Okay.
So it for me, it's much more along the lines of, okay, you got this, you were able to do this, now do it again but better, so that you have all of your health for the boss.
Okay.
So that's what it is for me.
And
at
yes,
least.
you effectively kind of, because you have to like run certain gauntlets to get back to the boss, and that's really what you want to practice. You become so efficient at just traversing the world and killing regular monsters that probably gave you trouble the first time you popped in one of these kind of games.
Yeah.
And now you're just completely destroying stuff because you know what the real threat is. Like I would be curious, because he said he felt so good about killing the trash that if he'd gone to the boss and then see, because that's usually how those games go. They build you up and then they just punch you in the face and bring you back down to square one, and then you build yourself back up again, and then they punch you back down.
This is fun, right?
It's great because you come out the other side going, "I am a god."
Yeah.
Okay.
Like with those, like especially with like the trash mobs, they're not really trash mobs. The only difference between a trash mob and a boss is the fact that a trash mob only has like 2 different move sets.
Oh, right.
Whereas the boss is quicker, and it also has a lot more move sets that you have to realize what you're doing, and probably also swings a lot. His reach is a lot further, and a bunch of other things. But they both deal roughly the same damage to you.
Wow.
You're still gonna hate your life if you get hit. It's just that with the trash mobs, you know what they're going to be doing because they only have 2 move sets.
So maybe it's an expectation thing because you were expecting the game to be hard, and the expectation was actually that they have of you was more than what you thought it would be.
It was hard in the sense that if I got hit twice, I was dead.
Yep. Right.
By the low level NPCs.
Yeah.
2 hits, dead.
Right.
So I made sure I was not hit next to it all. And also, the game is punishing in that way where it's like 2 hits, you're dead. But also, we're going to give you a lot of blorbs.
Yes. Thank you, trademark blorbs.
We're going to give you a lot of blorbs and a lot of blood vials or to heal yourself.
Yeah.
So I was never low on blood vials. So whenever my life was low, I went nope, heal, and then destroy.
Yeah.
So, but the game is expecting more than just that from you. It expects you to be able to go through that gauntlet and beat the boss, and then do it again, and then do it again. That's what the game's expecting from you.
It is.
Which is cool. I did it once, and I went, all right, now since the only place I can go to upgrade myself, I'm going to go upgrade myself. Oh, wait. You lost me.
So your expectations of the game is not what the game is.
Not
yeah,
enough
exactly.
blorbs.
Yeah, it's okay, and that's the other thing. It's okay to not like a game or not like a mechanic with the game. You don't have to play a game if you don't want to.
Right.
No, you can do whatever you want with your own time.
And I tried it, and again, I liked it and I loved it. And if it wasn't for like you guys told me in Sakura, they kind of not fix that, but change that so that you can upgrade yourself without resetting everything.
Well,
in a sense,
you can. So I don't know. I can't remember in Bloodborne if right off the bat you can teleport between lanterns at any given time. So like as you make progress through the world, you'll find other lanterns, and later Dark Souls games you could teleport between bonfires. In Sekiro, finding an idol, which is basically the same thing, you can then teleport at will to any previous idol that you've been to before. The difference is in the other games, if you touched it, you would rest at the same time. So that would restore the whole world. But in this, you just unlock the idol and you can do things there, but you don't have to rest, which then respawns everything.
Exactly. So I do appreciate that mechanic, especially because I can go back to it and be like, oh, I just wanted a skill because I was able to skill up, but I still have all my health. I still have everything else like that. So cool. Now I'm going to just continue going.
Yeah, that would have kept me going.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go on to Choi then.
Troy.
So as you all may or may not know out there, I have committed myself to play all of the Kingdom Hearts games.
I don't know why you did that.
I don't know. Well, I wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but I was on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to play it if it wasn't that like good, so to
Right.
speak. But what I saw of it, I was like, it looks fun. And then when I tried to delve into the story to lead up to it so I could play it, I was completely lost. And instead of just writing it off as like, oh, the story's crap, no one's going to get it, like, it doesn't make any sense after watching a half hour trying to, cram, 13 games or I don't know, 7 main games. I was like, how about I try to actually give them a shot and see how this story is trying to unfold.
Very true.
So Lewis let me borrow his Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix XD.
Rubber remix.
Remix.
Every single game.
Every single one.
Every single one.
And I originally was just going to play the main titles or the ones that I've missed, but I said, nah, I'm going to play it all.
How are you feeling about that decision now?
I'm okay. I feel good. I'm in the marathon now. I'm like out the first leg of the race. I got a little water. Someone threw some paint at me. So, I'm feeling all right. Beat Kingdom Hearts 1. And as of last night, I went through and finished Chain of Memories.
Okay.
Kinda. that game came around. As I mentioned last week, I think the combat was fine, but the story was just a slog because it was just a reiteration of what they did in the first game.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is that was only the first like 2/3 of that game. Afterwards, the story picks up a lot because they ditch all the Disney stuff and they go way deep into the Kingdom Hearts lore of the organization, secret organization.
Which is what's cool about it.
Yeah, messing with this trippy idea of like who is who if you don't have a heart, then what does that person mean, and back and forth, and just bringing up some really interesting things about memory too, which I actually thought about after I finished the game for a little bit. But about the game itself, I really got into the story afterwards, and I was pretty intrigued into how things were folding out with the new character Naminé and the villains that they were setting up. Unfortunately, I also, like you, Lewis, got tied into some horrible boss battles towards the end there. Katelyn, I love the card system in that game.
Thank you. It's not just me.
But now I hate the card system in that game. It's the worst thing made ever. No, those boss battles, they were mean because they took all the skills you got from the card system and they just like start canceling things.
Yeah.
And that's okay because it made me actually look a little deeper into that card system to learn how to beat them. And that's cool, only to find that there is a lot of BS if you look really close in that system. And you're like, oh, so I would just lose that. And there's no way that I could prevent that. And that's just going to be another, 20 minutes of my life I have to redo or not do at all.
That's when you have to put just crappy cards in your deck just to save them for when you know a cancel's coming so that you accidentally cancel the crappy card.
Yeah, I spammed it. Yeah. And that's kind of where I landed with the last 3 or 4 bosses is for the first boss that came up like that, I thought out of the box. I tried different things. I felt really good about the deck I had, and I beat him barely. And then he came back a half hour later, and I was like, not again.
Oh, is that the one what's his name?
Vexen.
Yeah.
Vexen. Evan.
Evan. Vexen.
You mean
Even. So then after that, I was like, I'm not going through that again. I found a spammy deck and just spammed my way. It was like I guess sometimes you guys mentioned in Dark Souls or some games where there's a big boss and there's a way to beat it, but sometimes you find a little cheesy way to poke at it for a while and you take it down. That's pretty much what I had to do for the rest of the game. It didn't really feel good to do that. Like, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I did have fun actually thinking about the card system, but it just got to a point where it was ridiculous. So I had to spam it. And like 1 fight is fine, but like 4 fights, I'm like, this is just not satisfying.
Were they all in a row as well?
Pretty much.
Oh man, yeah. I'm with you. I don't mind spamming an attack, or if I do need to cheese my way through 1 or 2 things, or here and there, I get it. But if I have to do that every single time, yeah, it's not fun. I'm with you.
It's not as interesting.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm going to finish this up, wrap it up, so I can move on. They had a really great quote. It was like, "What is forgotten is not lost. Just because you forget something doesn't mean it doesn't exist." You know what I'm saying, Lewis?
Oh man,
you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Man, it's cliche, but I eat it up.
It is, but beautiful at the same time.
And wackadoodle. That whole thing is wackadoodle by the end of it. I loved how they put some little preliminary shots of Kingdom Hearts 2 in there. That surprised me. I didn't think they were going to go that far into letting you know what Kingdom Hearts was about, too. So that was great. And so I wrapped it up, and then all of a sudden they were like, hey, you played as Sora. How about you play the whole game again as Riku? I'm like, oh, come on.
That's why last week when you were like, I'm about halfway done with the game, I had to look away from you. And I was like, oh, he doesn't know.
No. And I thought it was going to be fine because the combat, they get rid of the card system the way it is in the original, and it's more of a straight up kind of just fighter. And that was great. I was like, oh, this is wonderful. Until they have this one system called a duel where when you match up against another person, they flash the number card, and you have to scroll through your deck quickly to find the matching card. If it's a 9, if it's a 7, it's an 8. You have to match 3 in a row in 3 seconds.
Jesus.
And you're not in control of your deck anymore. They don't allow you to arrange your deck. So I can't put it where I want to put it.
Yeah.
It's just randomly there.
You just have to learn.
Learn what? It's randomly there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be 3 L1 presses or 4.
You just got to learn to be quick.
I have to get lucky and be quick.
Yeah.
Because they could just spread them out.
Yeah.
And after like doing that for a couple hours, I'm like, oh, I'll take Vexen any day of the week over this crap. And then I shut it off, and I was like, I'm good. I pulled the Lewis. I'm like, I'll see you later. No.
So is that where you're ending the chain of memories, or are you going to go back to it?
That's where I'm going to end playing that game. I got my credits. I got my Sora story. I'll look up the Riku post credits.
You're good.
I kind of see this as like that scene. You know, the credits roll after a Marvel movie, and there's like little end credits. I got up like halfway through. I'll look up the end credits later.
Yeah.
I feel that. Sometimes I don't feel like waiting, but I see everyone else waiting, and I just go, okay, I guess we're gonna stay for another like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Lewis, there's like 30 Marvel movies now. You need to know by now.
Do I though?
Yeah, you do.
He knows. He just doesn't want to wait.
Yeah, and that's fine. Did you play anything else, Troy?
So I then also grabbed the indie game Baba Is You.
Nice. We did talk about that last week.
You did.
Baba
And
Is
so I was
You.
like, I just finished Ape Out, so I was like, let me get something new for the Nintendo. And I started playing Baba Is You. Have any of y'all played it?
No.
No.
I haven't
but I
played it,
really
but I
wanna
know,
know.
I've watched video of
Is
people
it
playing
Okay.
good?
I'm going to try to explain this for us and for the listeners at home.
All right. Yeah.
Baba Is You is a puzzle game, top down, so you may not like it.
Okay.
So it's top down. That is about rules. For example, all you have to do as a Baba, which is kind of like a rabbitish thing, is get to a flag to win. How you get there is up to you.
Okay.
Now, while it's on screen, you'll see the actual text that says Baba is you, flag is win. Okay? But say there's a wall in your way. The words will be on the screen that'll say wall is stop. That means you can't get through the wall, right? Now, the thing about this game is as the Baba, you can push the words physically around the screen. So if I go to that sentence that says wall is stop and I move stop out of the way, now it's wall is nothing, and I can walk through the wall to the flag.
Yeah.
It's a whole concept driven around changing the rules of the game.
Interesting.
You can even, if there's a wall in your way, how about it says wall is stop? What if you go grab the win, move that over, and goes wall is win, and then you touch the wall, you win. So it's all about really kind of thinking out the box with words and with movement.
Yeah.
In a really unique way. And it's rad. It makes you feel like a genius. Every level, I'm like, I'm a master of my universe. No one knows my intellect as much as I know my intellect. That's true.
Yeah.
And then the next level, I'm like, I'm dumb.
I'm a
This is
dumb
hard.
Because then you can also
This is broken.
Because then you can also move individual words as well. So instead of saying Baba is you can move
Yes!
the you, and you can put like Baba is win, and then you can put the U is flag,
Yeah.
and then you are now walking around as a flag.
Right.
Oh,
I,
that's cool.
Yeah, I have beaten a level where I couldn't get past the wall, so I made, wall is you.
Yeah,
And then move the wall to the flag. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm a couple worlds into that, and man, like it is a good time to be into indie games.
nice. Yeah, it is. It is. The tools that they have nowadays for people to make games is just insane.
And the creativity of
Yeah,
these people.
it is.
Woof.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm just a gamer.
Yes, sweet.
So, how about you, Zach?
I don't play games.
This guy.
No.
Oh,
All right.
good. All right.
You
done.
are you are level 22 PlayStation trophy man. That is high, sir.
Well, you're
It
like
is.
28, so
But
what are
not
you
yet.
talking about?
Well, we're in the same ballpark.
I'm level 13.
Real quickly, my week, I played a little bit more of Division 2 as well.
Yeah.
You heard on the podcast last week I was sick, but that Sunday was my prime sick day. I was playing a little bit with my friend. It would be like, shoot a couple guys, be right back, run to the bathroom, violently ill, come back. All right, I think I'm okay.
Come back one
Okay, shoot
lung
more guys.
less.
Yeah.
He says that, but it was, Katelyn, can you watch this game for me? I have to go run to the bathroom. So I jumped on the PC version. The only time I've played Division was on PS4, the
Yeah.
first one. So I'm like, crap, what are all the buttons? So I move. Okay, well, I know I move with WSAD. Okay, so I got that. Shooting, I guess, is click. And then how do I crouch? What? And like his friend was on the other line and started talking to me because I wasn't saying anything at that point. He's like, oh, yeah, hey, Zach. So this is I'm like, I'm not Zach. He's like, what?
So
Anyways,
nice.
and then the other game that I played actually yesterday because this past Tuesday, the final episode of Walking Dead came out, and I hadn't played episodes 2, 3, or 4, so all day I spent the whole day finishing the series.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
And
It's like the Dark Souls of emotion.
My heart.
it was satisfying
It's the-
because I'm never gonna have kids, but if I did, I'd want Clementine to be my daughter.
Yeah.
It's the literal Dark Souls.
Yeah, I was satisfied with it. I can't really talk about it too much because there's some people here who play it, and it's all story, so I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm glad it's over. Just like I'm glad I'm not reading the comic anymore. I'm not watching the show anymore
be happy
because
about that.
it's just that The Walking Dead will never end, and I've had enough of it.
So were you satisfied with where it ended?
Yes.
Yeah, I was. For the most part, I was satisfied.
Okay.
They did some things that were clearly like what was left of the Telltale team, kind of like making a statement for themselves, which I
Gotcha.
thought was kind of cool. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool.
All right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that it ends satisfyingly.
Yeah.
The zombies went on strike.
Yeah.
We're like, we're not taking this anymore. Getting shot in the head. People aren't even scared of us. They're scared of people now. We're zombies. Damn it.
Negan just comes out and kills everyone.
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah.
Surprise appearance.
that's how it has to end.
And then the big topic we unboxed last week, Sekiro.
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
Brian and I have been playing, and
Oh, we did also find out Sekiro is what somebody calls him.
yes,
So it is
I
his name.
love that
So
guy.
that is his name.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As it was going on in the game, one guy's like, "All right, you're like a lone wolf, but you know what? I'm going to call you Sekiro." And I was like, "They did it! They said it! I could tell Troy."
I was right all along. I knew it. How is the game, you two? With the Sakura.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, I love it, but it is the first game that they've made that has reverted me back to what I felt like when I played Dark Souls for the first time.
So that's good.
I mean, I guess because when I defeated Dark Souls, I felt accomplished, and then when Dark Souls 2 came out, I'm like, I know what I'm in for, and I felt like a better player because I had what accomplished in Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 2 had its own challenges. Same with Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne even innovates on the formula and somewhat, but I still felt like I grasped this. When I started playing it, I was like, oh yeah, the DNA of Souls is still here. It's a different game or whatever. But now that I'm like 3 bosses in, this game is not Souls. It is not.
Wow, so it makes you feel like Souls, but it doesn't feel like Souls.
It feels like Souls in the way it presents itself, literally like the kind of menus and everything else like that. It feels at home. But then when you actually play the game and start to understand its systems and the way that combat moves as you fight different varieties of enemies, you realize that you really have to unlearn habits that you developed in Souls because you will die very, very fast.
It sounds like exactly what the developers would want. Like what you're saying
Yes.
is exactly what they would hope.
Whereas, you had Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and then Bloodborne. Those, as he was saying, they are all still the same, not the same like universe, but they felt like the same universe. They had the same guts. Whereas this, it's like, oh no, this is a completely separate game. Even though we're making it, it's a completely separate game, completely separate universe, completely separate physics, all this other stuff. Like, it is so quick with how you attack, how you have to make even more split-second decisions than before. Whereas like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, you're very much just like, you're like moving in water. That's how slow you're going compared to what you're doing now.
The mobility looks pretty
I'm
cool.
actually really surprised at how fluid the mobility feels, considering like the other games they're not clunky. It's just a deliberate design choice that your character is more rigid, whereas that the first time you use that grappling hook and you can use it in succession, and I'm like boom, 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 and I'm like, wow, this feels really good.
It does. It's a completely separate beast than everything else. It truly is.
One funny thing I saw about the mobility that made me laugh every time is when he does the grappling hook to get on somewhere, he does like this little spin, right, to land it. It doesn't matter how little you grapple, which is great in the fiction of my head that it's just like, it's like 3 feet. He's like, nope, gotta make sure I put in that spin. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's very much this universe's Spider-Man. I don't care how I do it. I'm doing it with style.
Sekiro man.
Yeah, it's a very hard game. However, like with Bloodborne and with these other things, you have gear that you can switch out. So it's like, oh, this one boss is a fast enemy, so I should probably put on some lighter armor, put on, get a dagger, and I can attack this way. This way, it's like, nah, I just have a sword. There's
Right.
no armor that I put on. There's no different weapon I can use. It's just my sword, my gauntlets, and then a whole lot of deaths. That's all there
And my
is.
vigor.
Yeah.
Well, I think some big differences in this one. I again carrying my old habits on. I found so many items, but in Dark Souls, either items sometimes are just useless or they're so precious that I wouldn't use them.
Right.
But in this game, I had to learn. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this sugar that boosts my attack power. I'm using that crap right now because it's gonna really make my day a lot easier. Or
I got some sugar to boost your attack.
yeah, there's
powder.
these different sugars that
Yeah.
increase your posture or your attack or whatever. There's different healing items. There are these pellets that are kind of similar to the blood vials, and then you also have your gourd, which is like an Estus flask type of situation.
Just sounds you're getting high and drunk through this entire
Oh,
process.
there are people who the guy who calls you Sekiro, he gave me sake twice now.
Yeah.
And I just give that to the sculptor for making my arm because he's just this one-armed dude, just like this, very low monotone Japanese man.
Yeah.
I'm like, here, drink this sake, get drunk.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Repair my arm for me. But the weird thing about this is, honestly, I think what makes it most weird is that the stamina gauge rules other Dark or FromSoft games. There's no stamina gauge in this at all.
No.
So you can attack and block at will, just constantly. That's what he
Really?
said. The split
That's
second decisions come in. The only thing that changes is that you also have a posture bar. So
And that's like your balance?
it's basically like balance or poise in the other games. Like in other Dark Souls games, there is basically like a hidden number that every enemy had, and if you dealt overwhelming damage with force, you could literally knock them out of attack animations or make them stagger or whatever in those games. This enemies will continue to attack you as long as their posture isn't broken, and so that results in in this last boss I was stuck on for literally 50 deaths. It was a straight up swordsman's duel. Just constantly, he had a very wide array of attacks, and I just had to know, oh, he's sweeping, I need to jump. He's thrusting. Oh, I have that special counter I have where it's awesome. When he thrusts, he'll grab the weapon and then stomp it into the floor, and it does huge posture damage.
Yeah.
And it's just a constant rock paper scissors type of combat where it's oh, I'm going to attack. Oh wait, no, he's attacking. I need to block now. Perfect parry, perfect parry, perfect parry. Attack, back off. It's just lightning.
It very much so is. And since you have a posture meter, you can't just block all the time, because if you're just blocking, your posture will go down. However, if you hit the block button as they're attacking you, if you do it correctly, your posture won't go down at all. Theirs will. So it's a very much like you're saying. You can't just turtle. You have to attack as well,
Okay.
which is different from other games that they've done.
It's different, but that same reward is there. Where I said I died 50 times to this guy, but I had fought him for so long that I memorized everything that he did, so that I went from watching these streamers who mastered the game in a day, and they're putting on this brilliant display of swordsmanship, and I'm I'll never be able to do that. I went to this guy, broke his posture before I even barely did any health damage to him. Boom, first death blow, and I'm oh, this guy's done for. And I destroyed him, and it felt so good. And I'm man. And I'm oh, I'm good at this game now. And then I was just playing before I came here, and I was just cursing at the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So no, I'm enjoying the game though. And then if for anybody who is playing it at home, there's just one word that describes this game, which is woo.
Oh wow!
This sounds like some inside Sekiro
It is.
baseball here.
It's pretty hilarious.
Okay.
Oh man!
Have
Cool.
you guys found the bell?
Oh yeah,
bell.
there's I found the demon bell.
Oh yeah.
There's a hidden area. This game is the first FromSoft game. It has difficulty settings.
Oh really?
There's a demon bell. It says, "Do not ring this bell, or bad stuff's gonna happen to you." And basically, through the Reddits and whatnot, basically it makes all of the enemies in the game stronger and changes up the movesets of bosses to make them more difficult.
Oh wow.
So they're starting you on what they consider easy.
Yeah, the normal mode. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The only
Alright.
the only trade off is you get more item drops or something like
That's
that.
not a trade-off.
You can't unring a bell.
That's
Yeah.
bam. You
Yeah.
got it, Troy. You got it.
Man.
All right. Well, I think that's enough of game talk this week.
Yeah.
Let's get into the
Enough
news.
games.
Yeah, I think that's way
into
more
the
than half
meat
the
and
episode.
potatoes.
It definitely is, sir.
So
Listen, we're going away for
I
a
want to
couple
play
weeks.
Baba.
It's gonna be a little.
And Sekiro
longer.
might be my end up being my game of the year. So
Yeah. Well, I got 2.5 weeks off, so I'm not going to be playing any Sekiro.
oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna unlearn everything.
Exactly. You better play it all right now.
I told him he has to beat it before the trip, or else.
Yeah, he's
It's
not going
gonna
to
be
be beating
SOL.
it. He's going to be witnessing it. So let's start off with the two Switches. They announced, or did they officially announce them? Or I think it's just
No.
rumor right now. Yeah.
There's still rumor.
Yeah,
I
as
think
still
it's one of
rumor.
those all but confirmed rumors.
Exactly.
Like the Washington Journal wrote about it.
Yeah.
So if it's a rumor,
It's
blame them.
It's a well-known rumor at this point where they're considering launching two new Switches. One a lower end, which is kind of like a 3DS replacement,
Right.
and then a higher end, kind of like a PS Pro, I believe, or PS4 Pro, where I don't know what they would do with that. What do you guys think is going to be like the upgrade versus a downgrade?
I think the upgrade, the graphics wise, they're not going to be able to do like a Pro where it's 4K. They're
Yeah,
going to have to go
no.
1080p because the screen right now
Yeah, I
is
was gonna say
720.
Brian nailed it in our chat. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a 1080 screen.
Yeah, 1080
Yeah.
screen, I think, and then, I mean, maybe you can improve the battery a little bit.
Maybe
or-
they might be able to prove some resolution on
Yeah.
the TV.
Improve the battery
a little
life
bit.
because that battery life is nothing.
yeah,
It's
that's all I
only
can
nothing
think.
For what it
depending on what
does,
you
it's-
play.
You're right.
Pretty good.
You're definitely right, but still.
Yeah,
If you turn off, if you're playing just a game where you don't need the internet and you put it in airplane mode, it lasts forever. I
Yeah.
bring it to dinners.
I mean, I never
sometimes.
play a game that needs the internet on the Switch. I only play solo games.
Oh well, then
On
just
Switch.
airplane mode. That'll help you a lot.
But I do
Probably
agree that that's why I said I don't know if I would upgrade. Like I gave into the Pro because I don't know that the upgrade would be substantial enough.
Yeah,
to be
and
honest.
exactly.
What about you, Troy? What do you think? What do you think the downgrade would be? What do you think the lower model is going to be?
I think the whole idea is smart. Give more options for the Switch. It's an amazingly selling console, and
Yeah.
for people who haven't bought in, let's give them a reason to buy in. Is it too expensive for you? Here's the version where it's not so expensive. They take
Yeah.
out the rumble features. They strip down some of the unnecessary things that aren't necessarily needed to just play a game.
Yeah,
And then a lot of the indie games that are on there. I mean, the Switch is like an indie machine right now.
it is.
You can just get a cheaper version of that and be on the go and just you can still play hundreds of games.
Yeah,
And as far as the Pro version, if that's for you.
yeah,
I can't see them making like a AAA title game in the same realm of like a even like a Sekiro or
Yeah.
something that needs a lot of powerhouse. It doesn't look like it's capable of that. So I don't really know what they're gaining. It's a bigger
yeah. If I'm
screen.
doing that, yeah, maybe that's all I could think of. I don't know. What about you, Katelyn? What do you think?
For the downgrading, I was at Target last night and I noticed that they were selling Joy-Cons that weren't actually Joy-Cons. They were because they didn't do the Wi-Fi, they couldn't be in anything but handheld mode.
Okay.
And they were only $20, $25, I think.
Okay.
So I'm thinking the lower grade version are going to have those where it's you can't take them off. You would have to still buy more expensive ones to do that. But the default is they come with these two. So you can only play in handheld mode. And the only way to play other than that would be to do it on your TV with a different controller.
Okay. I could see
Right.
that. I'm thinking. I mean, this is just spitballing here. I'm thinking since they kind of want to have it as a 3DS supplement, they might shrink it down. So they might make the screen a little bit smaller.
Okay.
So that way it's more portable. So you can actually maybe fit it in your pocket or something like that.
Interesting.
So they would have to make new Joy-Cons for that, though,
Yeah.
wouldn't they?
I'm thinking they might just
Make it one
make it
solid thing.
less wide.
So
Because
it's-
right now the screen has a pretty big bezel.
Yeah.
So if you shrink down the bezel,
But
they
keep-
might be able to still use the same
Okay,
controllers.
but keep it all at the same size.
Yeah, maybe you can
essentially.
maybe still keep the same controllers, or even if you do make it a little bit smaller. But I don't think the controllers would feel as good if they're smaller.
I agree.
Definitely not.
So I'm just thinking maybe just put less width on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
my
Make it the Instagram square.
yeah. That's my thought on it.
Would-
just because the
right.
Would
bezel's
the
so big.
games run in a like a lesser version then? Because I'm trying to think of them fitting the components in because if the screen's smaller,
Yeah, I see what you mean.
The components are smaller.
Yeah,
too,
well, I
inside.
feel like because it came out 3 years ago at this point.
Yes.
So
understand,
I
yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like they could probably fit those components in a smaller package.
Okay.
To me, that's just my
The
my
other thing I
spitballing.
thought too, if you already said this,
Yeah.
I apologize, but the cheaper one, maybe it just doesn't come with a dock at all.
Oh,
It's
yeah, no,
just
that's
meant to
true.
be played
Yeah.
on the go because
Yeah,
they
that's not
figure,
bad.
oh, people just want to play this on the go anyway, then they don't need the dock. We'll cut that out and cut the price off.
Yeah,
That's
that's not a bad
fair.
idea.
Yeah.
And that makes it fit more with the 3DS replacement.
Yeah,
because-
if they're doing it that
Agreed,
way. For
agreed.
Sure.
All right, and then let's see what else. What other news? The PlayStation State of Play.
Some games got announced.
They were.
which was pretty cool.
So I didn't get a chance to watch it. So Troy, what kind of games were announced?
Oh, you and I, this got me back into something. They opened up for No Man's Sky, who's getting the new Beyond edition.
Yeah, I saw that.
They showed a version running in virtual reality.
That's right.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I've signed off on No Man's Sky twice in the life of No Man's Sky. Had a great time with it, didn't have a great time with it, and now I'm like, I thought I was done. But when I saw VR, I'm like, this was made
For VR.
to be inside, you know, and I'm actually really jazzed to check that out.
Yeah, because you have a VR, so
Yeah, buddy.
And it's a free update.
Yep.
And it's a free update.
Yeah.
This is a win-win for me.
They're trying to, say, hey, sorry, guys, here's everything for free. We messed up big time.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be.
But then a quick rundown on the games that were possibly announced there.
There is a few games. I wrote down some of my highlights that I was really into. I really enjoyed the Vacation Simulator was put out for the VR as well. From Job Simulator, one of the best VR games ever made.
Yeah.
They announced one of those. And then a really cool artistic game called Concrete Genie.
Okay.
Which looked
I saw
like
that.
this.
I saw the trailer for that.
Yeah, like graffiti art game.
I'm excited for that
I'm
one.
excited for it. It's funny. Everything in it looked interesting. The one thing that I just went, that looks weird, was the way their mouths moved.
Okay.
Like the character design, like just the design of their mouths, and whenever they spoke, how the mouths moved. It looked like, oh, this kind of looks like stop motion a little bit.
Right.
But it looks weird.
Yeah.
Computer
Everything
stop
else,
motion.
except for their mouth, everything else looks great to me.
Well, maybe they'll fix it just for you.
Maybe.
Down the line.
Maybe.
We'll get that.
Because everything
Just
else
right.
looks interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Those
what,
are pretty special.
What else do they have?
I really enjoyed this game that came out that they showed called Falcon Age. Looks like you're just in control of a falcon. It looked one of those like crying games where it's you take care of a falcon for a while, it becomes your friend.
It dies.
And probably,
It's gonna
probably.
die. Let's
I
be
love
honest.
those. So
Okay.
You're gonna watch a falcon die.
I may happen. I'll be talking on this podcast, crying about it
About the dying
in the future.
Yeah.
And then Remedy. I don't know if they didn't show at the State of Play, but that also was announced.
Yeah, they announced Control, which is
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer for that.
yeah, where it's somebody who has Jean Grey's powers,
Yep.
telekinesis,
100%.
all this other stuff. It looks really good.
It looks beautiful, and
does.
you got to fly. It looked really cool.
Yeah, they announced that that's going to be August 27th is when that's announced or when that's being released. And the other thing that I found that was interesting about it is that it's going to be a Metroidvania.
Really?
So it's going to be a 3D Metroidvania.
Oh man, I don't really like Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
But if it's
Me
3D,
either, but
Yeah, but it looks interesting. Like I want to see how they adapt that to the way that it looks.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It looks fascinating.
It looks fascinating. So I
I
wonder
want
how
to
they're
throw
going
a
to do
couch at somebody's head.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, it looked really cool. Yeah.
yeah.
That reminds me of the Star Wars Force
Force
Unleashed.
Unleashed?
Yeah. One of my favorite things of that, where you get to control people with the Jedi mind powers,
It was so
is
good.
just picking somebody up and just hitting them against the wall and just being like, "Stop hitting yourself! Stop
love
hitting
that.
yourself! Stop hitting yourself!" The game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you just keep doing it, and then their body goes limp. Aw, I guess
Oh,
I'm
it's not
done.
fun anymore. Toss it away.
Very awesome. Very awesome. Borderlands 3 also got announced.
Yeah.
Caitlin's slightly excited about that. There's over 1 billion guns.
Over a billion
guns.
a gun with legs. We got you, boo.
Which nobody asked for. They're like, I like even in the trailer, like, you want a gun with legs? Here you go. I'm like, no, nobody asked for that.
I'm very happy.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sure. I
think
feel like that game
I've
gets me.
never played a Borderlands game. I
Well,
played
you're
the
a bad
first
person.
one. I played the first one, and I don't know why I didn't continue playing it. Because I played the first one, I rented it from I think the last final days of Hollywood Video.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Not even Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rented it, and I remember playing it, and then I remember just stopping, and I have no recollection as to why.
What were you going to say, Zach?
The most exciting thing I got from this trailer when I watched it back again, because I actually happened to just tune in right as they were doing the video, and there was, it was kind of a mess of an announcement because PAX really like botched their the technical part of it.
Okay, I
I
got
felt
you.
And so when
really
they first
bad.
put the video up, it was choppy as hell, and Randy Pitchford was like, my team worked on this game for the past 5 years. We need to show this right. And it was basically telling the event staff, like, get my video running correctly. And they showed it like 2 more times afterward. But those were some of the coolest stuff I saw. It's not new because if you played Borderlands 2, there was returning characters from Borderlands 1.
Yeah.
What is cool is that all of these games take place in the same universe, and I am positive that I saw some characters from Tales from the Borderlands
Get out of
having
here.
a big role, because I'm pretty sure it was Troy Baker's character Reese in one shot, but he has like a huge mustache now.
Yeah.
Right.
And somebody even tweeted, they were like, Troy Baker confirm, is this Reese? And he's like, oh, it sure looks like him, doesn't it? And that's all he was
Oh my
saying.
god, I'm so excited.
Wow.
Because,
Nice.
man, if you haven't played Tales from the Borderlands, 100%.
That's
Oh my
Is that-
god.
Finger guns, man.
Is that
Finger
on-
guns.
I saw that. That I saw, and when I saw that video, my first thought was, "Where is this, and when can I get it?" And that's on PSN. Tales of Borderlands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Dope.
you haven't played it, like Borderlands 2 is, in my opinion, one of the best looter shooters ever made.
I saw,
Yeah,
but
it's really good.
is it on PS4? Because it came out for PS3.
Yeah, you can get the
and
Handsome
360.
collection actually for
Okay.
like $15.
Well, they're
now.
also re-releasing all of it. They're
Yeah.
they're putting out a thing that has everything in it, including Borderlands 1, which is the first time you can play it on the PS4.
Oh wow. Okay.
Or 360.
Yeah, because when I looked up Borderlands 2, I'm like, oh man, I wonder if this came out for PS4 when it came out. Nope, PS3, Xbox 360. I was like, oh, never mind. But if it's on PSN, ready and available, then
You
I'll
would love
probably,
it.
Yeah.
I'll probably play it
It's
then.
so good.
Actually, you know what? Because I played Borderlands 2, like the beginning, and I liked it. I remember liking it more than Borderlands 1 for some reason.
It's
but then,
definitely better.
But then I don't remember why I just couldn't continue playing it. I didn't own the game.
He's gone from I've never played a Borderlands before to being, oh, I guess I
Yeah,
played one and I played two.
I keep remembering and then forgetting and then remembering. You know?
What is forgotten is never
Oh
lost.
my god! Oh my god!
It's like a chain of memories.
I saw Tiny Tina and she made me really happy because she was one of my favorites. I loved the D&D related DLC in Borderlands 2. It was so good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a good game. I can't wait for that to come out.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I'm
play
so
it together.
excited.
It's gonna be great.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and they announced that it's going to come out before the end of their fiscal year, or the next fiscal year.
So that's
But
before
that's
March of next year?
before April of next year.
Okay.
I'll take it anytime.
Yeah,
That's fine.
exactly.
Anytime, all the
That's
time.
fine. So I think that's enough news. Although
Yeah.
I prefer not to end on a somber note, but EA laid off 350 people.
Oh,
It's true.
So,
Damn.
Where games are like such a heavy, strong money-making industry, it's interesting to see so many layoffs happening. You just reiterates the fact that video games is a complicated business.
oh, it is, and they mostly laid off non-game makers though.
Yeah.
The
So
marketing.
the marketing, publishing, those types of things. So
You know what? Is that because of Twitch?
I was just thinking that. I'm
It
like,
might
the
be.
marketing landscape is so different now.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was that article that came out that said they paid Ninja like $1 million to stream Apex Legends.
for a day.
Why
Yeah.
have a marketing scheme when you have like a teenager that will do this for free?
Right.
For the free game.
Yeah, exactly. You pay
And
like
we'll do it
just
for a week straight, not
Yeah.
sleeping.
yeah, you just pay like a dude or a couple of people just your first couple of days at your release. Like, hey, we'll spend like $2 million on this to do this, and then instead of spending $10 million on newspapers or magazines or whatever.
No one does newspaper anymore.
Yeah,
Because
I
at
know,
the end
I
of the
know, I
day,
said that.
people just want to see the game being
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, and then they see a popular person playing it, and it's the influencer thing.
Yeah.
where it's just
Right,
like, oh,
yeah.
that's going to influence me to play it because somebody popular is playing it.
Hell, you give him a couple of copies that he can just give away too.
Exactly. Yeah.
The
It's
show.
hard to be a marketer in the games industry.
It
I
is.
think
You're
right now.
telling me.
and publishing too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a industry or a side of the industry that's also very fluid these days with how things get published.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
Digital content and physical content and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One final little thing I want to say. I just looked it up on my phone. The Borderlands Game of the Year edition, which is remastered for everything,
Yeah.
comes out April 3rd.
Yeah, I was about to say it comes out this Tuesday.
Comes out literally this week. So yeah,
So-
I'll play that.
Yeah.
Pretty close to a shadow drop.
And it comes out with like all the DLC that it originally had.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah, it is. It's very worth it.
Yeah, it
Did it
looks.
say, is it a $60 game?
I don't know. I didn't see.
I think it's only 40.
I'm hoping
Okay.
not.
I think it's 30 or
60
40,
because
but-
I still need to get Days Gone at the end of the month.
I keep forgetting that game exists.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Everybody does. They're going to be spending $2 million to
no,
get
they
everybody
just-
playing
they
that on
just- I just got an email saying they just released a story trailer. which I haven't seen
I'm
yet.
gonna get it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get it. No matter what.
I'll watch people play because I don't care for that game.
I didn't.
I watched the story thing. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there
I
you go,
gave
see?
0 cares about it until the last early trailer. Him and his wife, and I was just like,
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this episode's running on a little long. But,
Yeah.
So we can quickly go over what makes our hard bosses thing, which is what was it? What kind of boss makes it hard for you, I guess? Is it a bullet sponge? Is it mechanics? Is it a platformer? What kind of thing do you look for? What kind do you hate about a hard boss? So I guess I'll start. I mean, a hard boss to me, really, I hate bullet sponges. So for me, it's just, all right, I want different mechanics.
Agreed.
I want you to switch it up on me. Like with Sekiro, there's a horse guy that's on horseback. I mean, this is with most of the bosses anyways, but especially on him, you can scare the horse with firecrackers. And once you scare it, like the horse rears up and you can attack him a bunch. And then once you death blow him, so you have to death blow him twice. In his second phase, if you throw the firecrackers, his horse will rear up, but he's going to come down with his spear and hit you. So you have to, I enjoy, like, at different phases, it kind of evolves.
Process, the evolution of a boss.
The evolution, exactly.
What is like one of the most difficult bosses you've ever fought?
One of the most difficult bosses I ever fought.
The rest of you are getting this question too, so start thinking.
Most difficult boss I've ever fought.
Even if it's not like at the time, at least.
Yeah, at the time. I don't have anything off the top of my head.
One of my most challenging ones, and it was more attrition than it was mental challenging, was the secret boss in Final Fantasy 15, the Adamantoise.
Oh, that's right.
Which the entire game, you thought it was a mountain.
Yeah. And
then after the credits roll, you go back in, you do a couple of missions, and all of a sudden that mountain peeks a head out, and you're like, that's not a mountain at all. That's a boss.
Yeah, that's no moon.
Yeah. The scale of it is humongous.
It is. Like, each one of its face is as big as, like, you could fit into its mouth. You're a tooth on him.
Yes.
I think it took me almost 3 hours to kill it.
And that's what was hard about it. It wasn't that it was like, a technical thing where you have to memorize exactly what you do at a certain time, but it just took a very long time to beat, and you had to be mostly engaged to make sure you don't get stepped on. But it was really fun. So I think that kind of goes into what I like about bosses is, or certain bosses like that, where I can see the answer. I just need to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because with that
I'll put in the
boss,
time.
it had like millions of hit points. So it actually had like things I love and hate about bosses, because it had a huge scale about it. And it actually was moving around and stomping about. And it's like, okay, I just have to hit it a lot.
Right.
But then it also had the thing I hate, which is just, I'm just doing the same thing forever.
I put in a nice podcast. I was good to go. A couple hours later, you know. I think tough bosses for me, or bosses that I don't like, are ones where they like pull a fast one on you, or introduce things that are not part of the game that you have been trained with so far. For example, one of my least favorite bosses, and also probably the toughest boss, was the final boss in Final Fantasy. And I played the phone version, so I'm
the original Final Fantasy?
The original,
okay, gotcha.
Final Fantasy Uno.
Okay.
That boss battle at the end, after all your training, all your grinding, all of your leveling up, it has an attack move in the version I played where it attacks you and it takes away your abilities, meaning fight, magic, flee, items. It doesn't hurt you. It just takes away one of those abilities. So if they take magic away, half of my team's done. I can't heal. I can't do magic. So all I have to do is fight. And that'll get me a little farther. Or then they'll take away fight, and all I have is magic or my items, so I can't revive people. And then it starts hitting and takes 2 away. And there's not a pattern to it. So I can't know exactly when it's going to take what away. I just have to adapt to what happens. So I would go in over and over and over again and just get the crappy thing where it's like, you can't fight or do magic. What am I doing then? Am I just going to throw my old knives at this person? I'll do that for a little bit. And it was so random that after a while I just felt like, okay, I'm just hoping to randomly get the right one where he doesn't take away the things that I need to beat him in order to beat it, and that's not satisfying to me in that regard.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I did realize what the hardest boss for me at the time was. It's Emerald Weapon from Final Fantasy VII, and that's mainly because you have a timer going on with it. I think it was 15 minutes or something like that. It was either 10 or 15 minutes. I can't remember. But you only have this certain set amount of time, unless you get an item from earlier on in the game that you can transfer into an underwater materia. And if you equip that, you now have an unlimited time.
Nice.
But at the time, I didn't know that.
Right. You just had to make it happen.
You just had to make it happen, and it was one of the most frustrating bosses. But then you didn't, but then there was a way to beat it. It's just you had to realize.
And
what
it's
it was.
optional.
Yeah, and
like,
it's optional.
I'm okay for a boss being a dick if it's optional.
Yeah.
If it's like the way I have to beat this game, and it's just like unfathomably like random or like mechanically like what is this? Yeah. Then I'm a little more upset with it. But if those same mechanics are in a secret boss or an off boss or something that is optional, then that's my fault. Yeah. Then I'm getting into it because I want to get into it. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Reminds me of Sephiroth from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that's optional and an incredibly tough boss.
Yeah. Is that your hardest boss, Lewis?
No, because I died when I played him the first forever times. And
so what is your hardest one then?
I genuinely don't remember.
All right, we'll come back then. We'll come back.
I haven't played a game. I haven't played a game that has a boss in a long time. The last game I did that had like a boss was Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. And none of those bosses.
None of those are hard.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. That was disappointing.
That makes me so happy coming out of Chain of Memories to hear that.
They're all. I didn't die in any boss.
That's good. How about you, Zach? Then.
I don't know what would be the hardest, but the boss that always comes to mind for me is Ornstein and Smough from Dark Souls 1.
Okay.
That's like infamous boss for Souls fans. Because it's kind of like we were just talking about with Sekiro, where you keep making progress and you get beat down and you kill another boss and you're like, man, I'm like halfway through the game now. I'm pretty good. And then you walk through the fog gate and then there's two bosses at the same time and you just get
that's right,
annihilated and you're just like, it just breaks your brain. But at the same time, it's like it's very doable when you go in and you start. Okay, I guess it encompasses what I think good boss fights do. They force you to pay attention to what's going on,
right?
Because if you just go in and get mad and you get killed, and then you're like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is impossible," without ever realizing, then you go in and you go, "Oh, well, there's two guys, but the one guy moves incredibly slow. It's only the one guy who moves fast.
Right.
So then maybe I should kill the fast guy and then deal with the slow guy afterward." But then you kill one of them, and then the other one goes to full health and has the other one's abilities. Yeah. And it's like, oh, no, you weren't getting out of this. Now you only have one target to focus on, but it's going to be a different boss fight now kind of thing. But at the same time, like, I think you said my biggest pet peeve is whenever they introduce a boss who seems to just, like, confound the rules of the game up to that point. Whereas, like, a game like we've been playing Sekiro, the boss that I was stuck on was very good because he was difficult as it wasn't doing anything more than being like a skill check up to that point.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, let's see what you've learned up to this point, basically, because it's only going to get harder from here. So if you can't beat this boss fight, you don't deserve to go past this point.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that's usually my favorite kind of boss fight. And Ornstein and Smough is like, I think that's like a point in those kinds of games that will change you or make you give up forever.
Yeah. How about you, Katelyn?
Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
That
Cheater.
at the time, listen, every arcade game ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the first one would have to be Bongo Bongo from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
He is the Shadow Temple.
The boss is an ass.
Yeah. Oh. He's like the two hands hitting the bongo drums, and it's just like they're two hands, and you can't see him without the lens. And I was just that boss, I purposely skipped doing that boss and then just went to the next temple and then came back to him when I was done with that.
Okay.
And that one sucked. And then the second one, I can't pronounce it properly, so I'm going to ask someone else to pronounce it.
Okay.
Georg?
He is the water boss from
Georg.
Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
The stupid freaking fish. He, ooh, and they changed it for the 3DS version, so I thought I finally figured it out after years of playing. That would always be my worst boss. I would always have to bring max fairies and max bottles and everything just so I could kind of come close to beating him. And then they changed how you fight him in the 3DS version because they were like, oh no, he was super hard in the N64 version, so we made it easier. No, they didn't. They made it just as hard in a different way, and it sucks. And I hate him still to this day.
So tough bosses feel good when it feels justified that they're tough.
Right.
Or that,
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like you said earlier in the episode when you were talking about like cheesing your way,
Right.
it never feels good. I've done that on a few mini bosses in Sekiro, and I even looked at Katelyn. I was like, "Don't judge me for this."
Yeah.
that actually happened to me right before I got here because I defeated the drunkard. But like the way I defeated him, it was like on my third try for today, and I was like, "All right, cool." Well, like my third actual try. I wasn't actually trying to kill him before, but like today, like I deathblowed the very first death blow I got on him. He didn't even hit me once. I still had all of my health, all of my healing items. It felt amazing. And then I started getting cocky, and I started just like swinging for the fences. I was like, I already got you once. This is fine. And then I started like getting into a little bit of a bind. I was still fine, but like my healing items were going a little bit down, and I kept on backing up. And I guess I backed up like behind a tree, and then I was like, oh, he's about to hit me again. So then I like rolled out of the way. He got stuck in a tree.
Oh.
And I really was like, I don't want to beat you this way, man.
Not like this.
I'm
Not like
destroying
this.
you. Yeah. So yeah, like I was like, man, I really don't want you to be stuck in this tree, but I want to win. So
So
Let me just slide the sword
yeah,
right
like
here.
and it made it a little bit difficult, but a little bit less difficult because I was still hitting him, but he wasn't moving as he was attacking. He was just stuck in this tree. He was still able to attack, but he wasn't moving, so it made it a little bit more difficult, but I still was cheesing him.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? Nah, I beat him without him hitting me the first time. It's fine. I'm going to take this win.
The game will have more for you to prove yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, it will. So
You can go ring that bell.
yeah. No, thank you. Because as Troy said, that cannot be unrung.
Yep.
So what's up?
I forgot to update you guys on something.
Okay.
Is it?
The new I played a Nancy Drew game last week, and I finally played it.
I thought so.
And I finished it, and it took 6 hours because y'all were asking about times
Okay.
for Nancy Drew games.
All right.
That just popped
All right.
in my head.
Not bad. Not bad. So that's a good way to end this episode. Nancy Drew, as
Nancy-
always.
Nancy drew it up.
Nancy
She
Drew.
needs her reference
The
in there.
ultimate boss.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew. The toughest there ever was.
I can just say that the quote unquote boss battle, because it's like a point and click, so there's not really boss battles.
Yeah.
In that one, pretty annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not hard, just annoying.
Yeah. As a Nancy Drew boss would be.
Yeah.
All of her antagonists are just annoying.
They're
Yeah.
just annoying people.
All right. Well, once again, that was this week's Taste of Dragons. We record upstairs inside of Tate's Comics. Whoop whoop. And we are powered by the 3000 Brigade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So once again, my name is Brian.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Troy. You can find me on the PSN under Eccentric, Xenturk, and Steam there too. I go sometimes to Steam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dope.
I'm Zach on all the games, the PSN, the Steam, the Uplay, all that stuff. Davis Slayer, Daeva Slayer. If you can't spell that, then I can't help you.
The ultimate boss battle.
Yeah.
Spelling.
I'm Katelyn. I'm Penny Lane DC on everything. Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation. I'm now second guessing if I am on Steam or not, but I'm pretty sure I am. We'll find that out afterwards.
There you
Let's
go.
go with yes.
Yes.
Tune in next
Yes.
week to find out if it's true.
Yeah. I'm not online, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, that was your Taste of Dragons. Have a great week, everyone.
Woo!
Woo! Yeah.